Well, once again there guys, Brian here at 3TR, and I'm here to bring you another one of my personal movie reviews, this time sharing you my thoughts on the newly released next installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe titled Ant-Man. Now this movie was directed by Peyton Reed, and this movie stars the really wonderful cast of Paul Rudd, Michael Douglas, Michael Pena, and a number of other recognizable actors. And what this movie is it kind of tells the story of Dr. Hank Pym, who is the original Ant-Man. And after some conflict with some business people, he decides to kind of go into retirement because he's made this formula that allows him to make matter small but kind of still keep its shape. And I guess over time, one of his proteges starts working on technology that's somewhat similar to his, and he decides that, okay, this technology shouldn't get out, so I'm going to hire this professional thief going by the name of, if I remember correctly, of Scott Lang, played by Paul Rudd. And he pretty much says, okay, I need you to put on this suit, I need you to be the Ant-Man, I need you to break into this facility, I need you to steal this invention and stop it from getting out. And that's really all I can say, just about spoiling too much. I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but I will say this. For me, I kind of have a mixed relationship with the Marvel Cinematic Universe because all of their movies fall into three different categories. There are always three different types of Marvel films. They're either so bad I never want to see them again, this movie was okay, but I don't really need to see it again, nor do I want to watch it again. Or, very, very rarely, this movie was so awesome, I want to see it again in theaters, and I want to own it on Blu-ray and watch it over and over again. And unfortunately for Ant-Man, it just kind of falls into the same category as most of these Marvel Cinematic Universe movies do, and it just kind of falls into, I've seen this movie once, I thought it was okay, but I don't really need to see this movie again, nor do I really want to. Now, just to go over all the performances, I really thought that everybody in the cast did a very, very great job in their roles. Michael Douglas, you know, he has a semi-big role, kind of like the original Ant-Man, and I think that really works with his chemistry with the rest of the cast members. I thought Paul Rudd was a very odd choice at first when I heard he was going to be playing the Ant-Man, but he really does a very, very good job in this role, and he actually works with the action scenes quite well, which was something I was actually quite surprised because to me he's always been much more of a comedic actor, and I was surprised how well he handled himself in the action scenes. Now, the one element that I think just did not work at all, and I think this is kind of a running tradition with all Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, is that the villain is very generic, forgettable, and just kind of there. And I think this is going to be a major problem as we continue going on, especially if we're getting close to Thanos, probably by the end of the next cycle of Marvel films. And if you don't really have a good villain, then it kind of takes out the whole aspect of any sort of having any real suspense or excitement. Now, I will say the one thing that absolutely does work in this film is some of the action scenes. These are definitely some of the most creative action scenes that I've actually seen out of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe and how they're filmed. Because it kind of does an element that I haven't seen since probably the movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Of you take this character and then once he shrinks, he's transported to a completely different world, and it's how he interacts with this world that the movie really elevated for me. And I'll say that the final action scene of this film was really, really creative. And it was definitely different than what we're used to seeing with all these Marvel Cinematic Universe movies where it kind of ends in a big way, in a massive explosion. And I was a bit surprised of it was very different, yet satisfying. Now, if you're a fan of the Ant-Man, or if you're not a fan, for me personally, this movie did not really make me any more interested in the Ant-Man character. He was just kind of there, and it's certainly going to lead up into Captain America Civil War. But I do think, you know, if you've seen all these movies up to this point, definitely check Ant-Man out, but you're not really going to get anything too extraordinary that's really going to add anything major to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If I had to give this movie a rating, I'm kind of sitting at maybe a B- to a C+. I wish there was a rating somewhere in between there. I'll be nice and lean more towards a B-. I don't mind seeing this in theaters, but as I said earlier, this just kind of fits into the same tradition as most of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies do, and I don't really want to see this movie again, nor do I feel like I need to moving forward. If you like this movie review, feel free to like, comment down below, and please subscribe to check me in my future movie reviews. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll see you next time.